This is a Fox 5 weather alert.
You are watching Fox 5's continuing coverage of the blizzard of 2026. The tri-state slammed by so much snow, and it is still coming down at this hour.
What a mess out there, and potentially dangerous. From Long Island to New Jersey, Westchester and Connecticut, our crews are everywhere that you don't have to be.
That is some good news for the people watching this morning. All right, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Bianca Peters.
And I'm Dan Bowens. We will be with you for the next 2 hours, live coverage, all angles of this storm. We want to bring you up to speed on what's going on right now.
Okay, so starting with this now, a state of emergency, that is still in effect right now. And a citywide travel ban also still in effect until noon.
Long Island Railroad, the LIRR service suspended right now until conditions improve enough to run them safely.
And NJ Transit has also suspended all service due to this blizzard.
Let's check out what's going on here in the city. The subways are running, but with delays and reduced service. And you know what? Bianca, this blizzard is not over yet. I don't know, you walked in a little earlier, you sort of made your way in. You took the subways at least.
I took
the subways are still
and I
running.
got to say, everything was running smoothly. No one, there's like hardly anyone on there. But I will say it's essential, because when you have people that are running the subways, they got to get to work on the subways because they're not going to drive in. So, you know, I have to do a shout out to all MTA workers that still came to work and allowed us to get to work today as well. Let's bring in meteorologist Audrey Puente at the Weather Center with more on this one. Audrey, it just seems there's no end in sight.
Well,
the snow.
It seems like when you go outside. However, we are going to see gradual improvement as we go further along, Bianca. We're actually on the back nine here of this storm system, but we've had some very impressive snow totals being found all across the region. We're going to start you off in Connecticut. Bridgeport at 16 inches, New Canaan at 15 inches here over in New Jersey. 2 feet now over towards Freehold. Cranberry coming in at 21 inches, Hoboken at 16.5, and Newark at 18.3. New York totals, I just got the report in from Islip where it's 27 inches there. We have 23.5 in Quogue. I mean, the east end of Long Island has really been slammed here. Mott Haven in the Bronx at 17.9. Central Park so far 15.1. We're definitely going to be adding to all of the totals that you see listed here. Peak wind gusts earlier this morning. I mean, it was really bad and howling out towards the east end of Long Island. We had 84-mile-per-hour gusts recorded out at Montauk Point, and it's still very blustery out there. We could have wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. That's tropical storm force winds, and that's why we have all the blowing and drifting snow, which is why the National Weather Service is continuing the blizzard warning for the entire tri-state area. We're now down to a winter weather advisory, though, over towards the Poconos and into Sullivan County, because it seems to be a little less impactful there. Coastal flood advisories continuing for the times of high tide for the county shaded in green here. Temperatures definitely cold enough for snow. The winds are definitely making an impact, too, with wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, reducing visibility to less than a mile across the region. So stay where you are for the duration of the storm. We're going to see some improvement later this afternoon. I'll have the details coming up. But for now, let's talk about the traffic we're dealing with here. It's pretty rough on the roads. Inez is here with an update.
Hey, Audrey, street cleaning rules suspended, meters in effect, and there is this travel ban still going on. So not a lot of people on the roads, although they're looking better. So if you're an essential worker and need to head to work right now, things on the LA and Queens, not bad at all here. You have a nice blacktop there, no problems on the Grand Central. George Washington Bridge, not as nice. You can see there a lot of white, a lot of snow there on the road, heading towards that upper level there, lower level, same. And with the subways, the C trains, that's suspended along with the Staten Island Railway because of the weather. Then the Franklin Shuttle, that's suspended because of a downed tree. There are delays on the subways, so make sure you check on the MTA app and make sure what time it's running and it's not delayed. B-Line buses, paratransit buses, they're suspended the entire day. They'll resume service tomorrow. Nice buses suspended until further notice. Metro North, Hudson, Harlem, and New Haven line running on a reduced service. The other branches are on a weekend schedule. LIRR suspended along with New Jersey Transit, rail, bus, and light rail along with Access Link and the PATH trains. Newark to Grove Station, Journal Square to Grove, Hoboken to World Trade Center. They are suspended. Expect delays with the other lines. Back to you, Dan and Bianca.
Inez, thank you very much. Long Island hit hard by this blizzard with 2 feet of snow, especially in a couple spots that we're really keeping an eye on.
That's right. Thousands of customers also without power. And Fox 5's Jessica Formoso joins us live from East Meadow with more on the conditions there. Jessica, we just heard Inez talk about the LIRR being suspended, so I'm assuming a lot of people just tuning in this morning to see what's happening outside.
Good morning, Bianca and Dan. Actually, I'm surprised at how many cars I'm seeing on the road because there is a travel ban until noon. It was until 9 a.m. and it was extended. I'm going to pan here to my left so you can see this car is stuck there. Now, I have to say he is an essential worker. He works at the hospital. He's coming home from work, trying to get home at this point. He was at work early this morning and he got stuck here. We're on Hempstead Turnpike. He's stuck. He has that shovel. He actually went inside the 7-Eleven here, which is open, to ask for a shovel, which we're going to help him out afterwards because I feel horrible for him. He's been out here for now, I don't know what, Jimmy, maybe like 20 minutes at this point, and he's stuck. He's been trying to push that car forward and back and nothing. It's just not going. And just like him, we actually saw a bunch of cars getting stuck in the snow. So if you have a vehicle like a little sedan, please stay off the road. This is not the time for you to be driving in this condition. A lot of the secondary roads, which this is where he got stuck, are not plowed. And if a plow did go by, it looks like there wasn't even a dent made because the snow is just coming down and the wind, it looks like a plow never went by. The major roads like Hempstead Turnpike, Jerusalem Avenue, Jerusalem Road, New Bridge Road, those roads have been plowed. And we saw sanitation trucks and also the plow vehicles from town of Hempstead out here. We also saw one of the big trucks of the plows stuck for a while trying to reverse and forward and nothing. You could hear the wheels spinning and they got stuck. So if a big truck like that gets stuck, you can only imagine vehicles like this. That said, we're talking about over 17,200 customers, PSEG Long Island customers without power throughout Long Island. Now, we did reach out to PSEG Long Island to tell us that they have crews ready to go, nearly 500 crews ready to go, 300 also available to help those 500 crews. But the problem is that it is too dangerous for them to get on those buckets and get up to those poles to restore power. So they're just on standby right now, waiting until they're able to get up there and climb those poles. And that probably won't be for a while because it is dangerous out here. The wind, the visibility when you're driving, also hard. I mean, we were driving, you see this video here, this is the driving cam video and you can see how hard it is if you're driving. There is poor visibility at this hour. So really, guys, if you don't have to be out here, stay inside. There's no need to be out here. You are disturbing and impeding the sanitation trucks and the plows that are really trying to do their work, trying to get through. I did see a plow having to go around a couple of vehicles because those vehicles were stuck. So just stay off the road. And if you come back here live to us, you can see the wind when it picks up just hitting me in the face. Even hard for me to speak to you guys. But again, if you guys look, this is Hempstead Turnpike. Look at that guy. He's walking. Where is he going? I'm just wondering where he's going because there is a hospital down the block, but he doesn't look like he works at the hospital. We did see, guys, Dan and Bianca, we saw a couple of folks just walking around. I don't know why.
Man.
I don't know. They were just...
Maybe he's going to the gym. We heard a lot of people saying, you know what, I'm trying to get into the gym a little earlier. I mean, that was a couple hours ago.
No, I don't think that gentleman over there is going to the gym because, no, he doesn't have workout clothes. And the gyms are pretty much, they're closed. I mean, everything here you can see is closed. This 7-Eleven is open. We drove around. A couple of 7-Elevens were closed. Dunkin' Donuts is closed. Starbucks is closed. McDonald's is closed.
Well, you know it's bad when Dunkin' Donuts and McDonald's are closed. That's when you got a real problem.
It's a very big blizzard.
Yeah.
And you know, if you got to be out there walking the streets, I will say an umbrella is helpful. It's what I use today to work, just to help, especially to show your face.
No, Bianca, I don't even think the umbrella would work because once the wind picks up, it takes it. It takes it. So goggles, that's what I need. I need goggles.
Well, Jessica, we're going to be back with you in about a half an hour and half an hour after that, so you got plenty of time to throw on the goggles if you need them.
7-Eleven might sell them.
Thank you, Jessica.
I was just thinking.
Oh, man, it's tough out there, especially if you have to, you're essential work and you have to battle the elements. Let's get to this area, though. Westchester County also experiencing those blizzard conditions there. All
right, the conditions so bad, the travel ban that was supposed to end at 10 o'clock this morning has been extended to noon. Duarte Geraldino is live in Yonkers with the very latest on the conditions there. Duarte, what are you seeing?
Hey, it's kind of rough out here, and it's good news that that travel ban has been extended because the highways, as you can see behind me, they've been plowed, but they're still slippery. Every so minutes, we see a couple of cars, undoubtedly essential workers, though we can't confirm that, going down these roads. They're going in a caravan because that's the safest way to do it. And as you can see how much snow has fallen, again, only one lane within the highway has been plowed. So that's sort of the safest place. I'm actually on Oak Street near the Bronx River Road, and you can see a lot happening over here. I want to give you a tour. That overpass is actually linked to the Metro North, which is running on hourly service right now. Although, based on what people are telling me, it's kind of rough. You know, it says hourly, but given the snow conditions and the fact that they're still clearing things out, you can be waiting for quite some time. Again, you can see some cars going, and you can see on the highway how they're sort of traveling very slowly in that caravan formation, because that's the safest bet. You don't want to go too fast, because if you slip, and we've seen so many cars slipping on this snow, which is really soft, but also because it's so slippery, it can be dangerous, then, you know, the impact is sort of what gets you. Over here, you're looking at a lot of the trees that are lining the Bronx River Parkway. They're beautiful, aren't they? But they're also a source of power outages. You see how that snow is clinging to all those branches? Again, a wonderful winter wonderland, but as that gets heavier, again, they're sort of interspersed with all of those electric lines. If one of those branches falls, takes one of those out, then you're going to have a sort of a power outage. That's one of the concerns that everyone that we've spoken to today keeps on mentioning. There were some sections of Westchester last night that had some power outages, so it was a little scary for some people over here because so many people have switched to electric heat and they're like, oh my God, what did I do? As we pan our camera the other way, I also want to show you an apartment building in the other direction where these are some of those pre-war buildings that still have fire escapes. A lot of the folks who we spoke to also highlight the fact that those fire escapes are iced right now. They're very slippery. And so, you know, the need right now to be very careful how you heat your apartment is ever present because it's so treacherous outside. In the distance, you can see someone who is actually trying to shovel out his house. Do you see those people all over there? Let me know if you can see him, because we can zoom a little bit closer. But if you can see him, tell me yes or no. I can see him, but it's very blizzardy out here. Do you see them? Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
No, yeah, Duarte, you're exactly right. I mean, you can tell with some of those power lines that are there that there could be some problems. Looking at the Con Ed map, looks like a couple hundred customers without power this morning, and yeah, it's starting to dig out for sure.
Talked to a couple people out there shoveling the snow this morning, and they're doing it constantly, and you know, they work for about 20 minutes, and then they go back and they're like, it looks like I didn't do anything. I
know.
It's constantly coming down.
Heavy. It's that. I mean, Duarte, as you look around out there, I heard you say that they hit the roads once plowing. And then when you look at it, I mean, it really looks like there's so much work that they still have to do.
So much work. And the key point, because I've spoken to so many of these homeowners who live along, they're so grateful for the fact that the plow truck comes by, but then all that snow goes on the sidewalk.
Yeah, for sure.
And they have to plow it, and they're saying it's very difficult. Where am I going to put this? And so what's ending up happening, you have these little mountains every other feet where people are piling stuff, and it's very difficult to walk on the sidewalk because of that. You see that person in the distance who's just creating that mound of snow? If you're trying to walk on the sidewalk, you can't get past that. Again, right now, it's very, very soft. We saw someone who actually tried to use an umbrella. I heard you mentioning that earlier.
That's how I came to
block
work.
the snow.
Yeah.
Well, you were one of the lucky ones. This person says they used an umbrella and they got caught up in a gust, fell over, and was thankful the snow was like a marshmallow, but fell in the snow. So again, it's very, very rough. You know, we're going to sort of continue this pan so that you can see a part of the highway as people make their way down it. It's very clear. Again, everyone is heeding the warning for the most part not to jump on the highway. Every so often you see a situation like that where two cars are going side by side. That's dangerous. You know, the rule up here in Westchester and some of the outer communities is when the roads are like this, you actually want to be in that line in case someone slips, because the slip is going to take you to the side, which is what, you know, you don't want to be on the wrong side of a slip. So we're out here, we're talking to a lot of people who, for the most part, are choosing to stay inside and heeding the warnings because we have these travel bans in effect in Westchester. Now, because of that, it's kind of difficult to speak to people because we're not knocking on the doors, but they're saying, okay, just stay outside. We will talk to you through the window, but we're going to be safe inside. So we're in Yonkers. That's what's happening over here. I'll turn it back to you guys.
All right, Duarte, thank you very much. We appreciate your reporting this morning, and we want to see your pictures and videos of this blizzard. All you have to do is scan that QR code on your screen, and you might just see your photos, videos streaming on the Fox Local app or on Fox 5 News. I'll give you a little tip. If you send us a picture of your dog running around in the snow,
we're going to show it.
It's going to be on TV, like guaranteed.
I know. I was going to say it's a lot better than some of the roadways.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Well, coming up, our storm coverage continues.
That's right. We're going to check in live with the Monmouth County Sheriff to check the conditions there, where more than 100,000 customers are without power. All right, tracking the very latest of this blizzard, and it is a similar scene all across the tri-state. We have a live look. This is Monmouth County, New Jersey, down the Jersey Shore. This is the Garden State Parkway South.
All right, the snow and high winds making it very dangerous to travel right now. There are reports of more than 130,000 power outages across the state. Monmouth County Sheriff Sean Golden joins us live with the very latest on the conditions out there right now. Sheriff, thanks so much for joining us. Maybe you can give us, paint a picture of the conditions that you're in right now. I see you're in your car, but are you driving anywhere?
Yeah, made it out, making some rounds, and I'm meeting up with our Public Works Director, Bob Compton, but he has been touring the county as well this morning. It is still treacherous out, I will tell you. The wind and the snow is coming down. The roads, particularly the tertiary roads in the municipalities, aren't really that clear. State roadways are clear, but not down to black type. It's still slushy, icy. We have some stranded motorists. The good news is a lot of people are off the road. I think the bad news is it's still going to take some time to clear these roads, particularly the primary roads. So, still a lot of work ahead of the DPW employees here and around the county. So they're working hard. I know they've been working hard all night trying to keep up with it. Along with that, we have 26,000 power outages in Monmouth County, and we'll continue to monitor those and whether they affect any of our critical infrastructure.
Sheriff, just to clarify, we'd heard some earlier reports of more than 100,000 customers without power. You're saying the number is closer to 23,000?
No, just in Monmouth County and JCP&L, just in the Monmouth County service area, we have 26,000 out without power. But okay. I know over system-wide, they have over 100,000, Monmouth, Ocean, Burlington County.
Yeah, okay, all down the Jersey Shore. So Freehold in Monmouth County looks like it's got about 24.2 inches of snow. I mean, that's one of the highest total.
I'm right near there, and I can attest that is all true. I did four passes on my driveway, and it was over snowblower height. So it is. I'm right next to Freehold and Howell Township, and it is unbelievable how much that we've gotten. I'm thinking it's got to be 20 inches, 24 inches here.
Impressive.
So it's going to be a lot of digging out. And stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm sure there's going to be delayed openings. There's too much volume here to deal with, and then still with the power outages, it's going to impact some of the region.
Sheriff, let me ask you a question. We're talking about that travel ban extended till noon today, but you're talking about the conditions that you're currently in. Dan's talking about these record snowfalls. I mean, does that need to be extended?
I do. Listen, we're telling every one of our residents in Monmouth County, stay off the road. We don't, our snow plows are trying to work really hard. We have some first responders that are out with down power lines and trees. I just passed one, a couple minutes ago. So it's still treacherous out there. We don't need you on the road. You don't have to be on the road unless you're essential personnel or emergency personnel. So stay off the road. And like I said, in my short tour here, as I'm heading down to Long Branch and down Ocean Ave and along the coast. People are heeding the warning. We really haven't seen too much traffic, which is a really good thing.
And Sheriff, got about 30 seconds left. I know you said that there are some motorists, or were some motorists who were stranded, stuck in certain places.
Yeah, we do have some stranded motorists. We did activate our heat team. They're high water emergency vehicles. They're high water trucks. We have several of them. We call them HEAT, Highway Emergency Assistance Teams. They are out there now. As I said, they weren't going to be out there over overnight. It was too treacherous, too dangerous for our first responders, but we did activate them a couple of hours ago, and I know they've already helped a couple of dozen motorists. So we're going to continue to do that throughout the county.
All right, Sheriff, stay safe out there. Appreciate you checking in with us this morning.
Everyone be careful. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. I mean, just so impressive, some of those numbers that they're seeing down there. I mean, 2 feet just where he is, and it's a very sort of real look at it because he's plowing his own driveway before he goes out to work.
And the fact that this travel ban is supposed to be up in about 40 minutes, I do not think that that's going to be possible. All right, we're going to have to take a quick break, but our show coverage continues after this.
All right, we're going to have a live update from the Rockaways. Residents there dealing with some power outages, also a whole lot of flood risks. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back. We do want to check in now on the conditions in Queens. That is where reports this morning of thousands of people without power in the Rockaways.
Also major concerns about coastal flooding. We want to check in with Michelle Ross. She is live in Far Rockaway. And boy, it always gets windy out there. Looks like that's the case this morning, Michelle.
Absolutely. We keep having to, switch the camera around so that it's not coming right into our faces. But we are absolutely dealing with incredible wind here today. My hat just flew off, but so luckily I have another one in the car. But because of that wind, 11,000 people were without any power last night here, early in the morning, rather, here in the Rockaways. And you can see a little difficult to speak about it as well. And the coastal flooding is a concern, too. This area very susceptible to coastal flooding. That's particularly on the bay side. We haven't been able to make our way to that area yet, but is high tide. This is the ocean here on this side. High tide is expected at 12:22, so we will go on the boardwalk and keep an eye on that. I want to show you the cars here. So this is the median. So we have one road here, the median, and then the other side is another road. But the cars parked here in the middle so that they will not get trapped in from the snow. Multiple plows have come already. They've already trapped in cars on the other side. You may not be able to see it. And if you look a little further down here, there's a DSNY vehicle. It's not a big plow. It's a smaller vehicle, but there's a smaller plow attachment, and it's pushing all the snow out into onto the sidewalk here. This vehicle in particular is useful for the tighter areas that a big plow cannot get into. So, for example, it did this entire bikeway path here. The bike path is actually green, and he just went over it maybe about 10 minutes ago, and now there's another coating of snow. So it goes to show how quickly it's still coming down, the snow. I also want to introduce you guys to two Rockaway Park residents here. We have Kelly and Caleb. They're the only people out here today that are actually sledding. Typically, people would wait till it stops. Why did you guys come out here so early?
He's been ready to go since he woke up, playing on the terrace, putting bowls of snow and bringing it into the house. So we went and walked my mom's dog, and he came, and then we came back out.
Awesome. And I know it's so windy. I'm so sorry, Caleb. Can you tell me quickly, what do you love about this weather?
Nothing.
So what made you want to come out then and go sledding?
I just wanted to.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Awesome. Great. And did you guys lose power last night?
Yeah, we lost power about 4:43 a.m. And it went back on about 6:15.
Yeah, so that seems to be the case, about 2 hours later.
The whole peninsula looked like it was black.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think theirs came back on more like 8 o'clock.
Right. Great. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Stay warm. See you guys out here later, I think. Yeah, thanks. All right, that's the latest here from the Rockaways. Back to you guys.
That little boy had Michelle, thank you so much. That little boy had the most honest analysis from any official who we've heard all morning.
I was like, Caleb, are we related? What do you enjoy about this? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, boy. All right. Coming up next, the blizzard wreaking havoc on businesses as well.
That's right. We're going to let you know what's open and what's closed right now when we come right back. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us right now. We're taking a live look outside right now, turning about the weather conditions to see what's in store for us this afternoon.
Well, looks like it could be more of the same. Meteorologist Audrey Puente is at the Weather Center with more. Audrey, when is this finally going to let up?
Oh, it looks like we're going to be in store for a couple of more hours here, probably until the early afternoon. Let's talk about the snowfall amounts. They've been pretty significant throughout the duration, and yesterday we actually set daily snowfall records in Islip, Central Park at 8.8 inches. That was yesterday. Newark came in at 8.1. 6.1, breaking the previous record of 6.8. And we also had a little over 8 inches at LaGuardia. So far in Central Park since December 1st, which is where we kind of give the record keeping for the winter season, we've had 31.5 inches of snowfall. That was as of yesterday. So we're not counting today. If we throw in the extra 15 inches, we're now probably up to about 46 or 47 inches, which is well above normal, where normally our normal snowfall for the season is about 22. Looking at the snowfall, we can see it's still coming down pretty steadily across parts of the area, most specifically Long Island, which has been really hard hit, and so has portions of eastern New Jersey, too. We have a swath of steady snowfall here running about 1 to 2 inches per hour. That's why we have the darker shaded tones, and that's why we're seeing the numbers pile up here from, let's say, Bergen County all the way down through Newark and down towards Freehold, where we already had over 24 inches of snowfall recorded there. Out across Long Island, too, we've seen 2 feet. I got 27 inches recorded in Islip so far. So again, a lot of significant snowfall spinning across the region here. And it's still coming down. We're really not seeing much movement here as far as exiting the area. Off to the north and west, there is, of course, sort of lighter amounts here, so they're faring a little better than the areas along the coast. But the low is still sitting offshore. While it is slowly making a progress over towards the east and now the northeast, on the backside, you can see we do have swaths of heavy snowfall running from New England right here into the tri-state area. So we still have a little bit of ways to go. I think eventually the low will exit to the east here as we go towards the afternoon, and then drier weather we're working from the west. We have high pressure coming in from that direction, and that will set us up for a quiet day as we go into Tuesday. But in the meantime, for today, plan for more snow showers. We'll probably taper off to snow showers, I'd say probably around 2 or 3 o'clock, and then we'll get some clearing in here later on tonight. Tomorrow, more in the way of sunshine, but it will be cold with a high of only 31 degrees, but then we're in the 40s and above freezing for the rest of the week. Bianca and Dan, over to you.
All right, Audrey, thank you very much. All right, and we know kids are enjoying a full snow day, especially here in New York City.
That is right, but the storm is forcing a lot of other closures as well. Antoine Lewis is here to break all of this down, so at least we know what's open, what's closed as we're dealing with this crazy weather.
Well, Bianca and Dan, the first thing I want to do is remind everyone that if you do not have to go outside, then stay home. That part. But if that's not the case, here's what you need to know so far as what's open and what's closed. We'll start with what's closed. So New York City public schools are closed, and anyone who follows along that, their schedule as well, that's that. Now, this one we'll get to in just a moment because these are the things that are open. But since we started there, you saw that the post office was open. Now, as far as the Uber Eats and all of the ordering and things like that, well, it depends upon the restaurant in and of itself, whether or not that's going to be open or not. So again, public schools are closed, libraries are closed, criminal courts will open at 2 this afternoon. If you have business, definitely go there to make sure that you are there for that. New York State courts are closed in all 5 boroughs and the surrounding suburbs. As far as banks go, they're open for in-person, some of them as far as the services go, but it ultimately depends upon the location. Now, as far as what's open, the post office is open. It's not clear if the postal workers, though, will be able to make it to your mailbox with all the snow that's covering the streets and the sidewalks. Food ordering apps like DoorDash suspended deliveries overnight, but last we checked this morning, if your favorite restaurant is open, then the delivery service will work with them, but you can expect longer wait times. Grocery stores, most are likely open, but that, of course, depends on the individual store. And as far as retailers go, most should be following regular hours, but you may want to make sure by checking their website to see if there's a posted message about any special store hours. Now, going back to the schools, we know that the kids are having an old-fashioned snow day, but students, parents, and the school staff are, of course, wondering, what about tomorrow? Well, we know that the mayor has a news conference scheduled for this afternoon, sometime around 1 o'clock. We anticipate an announcement on schools for tomorrow then, but this is the latest now. And Bianca and Dan, we know that also this list will likely continue to change, so we'll be updating it as it goes along, especially after that very exciting forecast that we saw from Audrey right before my hit. So,
yeah, just going to continue there, but I'm wondering what the students are feeling, especially when they get that old-fashioned school day, because before that was promised to not happen, out of the cards, and now
because they had such good success with virtual learning, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. You're right, the mayor has his news conference at 1:15. Antoine, thank you so much.
Meanwhile, we still got more snow coverage coming up. Stay with us.
All right, let's check out what's happening in New Jersey. More than 65,000 homes, businesses in Monmouth and Ocean counties are without power. By far the most affected area when it comes to power outages, definitely the Garden State, New Jersey.
So frustrating for those customers out there. But joining us now with what is going on at this hour is Jersey Central Power and Light, Christopher Honing, who works with them. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
Thank you for having me on this morning.
Okay, so give us an update, because we talked to you a bit in the commercial break about where we're at right now. You got some people back on the grid, but explain to us the numbers.
So right now, statewide, we're sitting at about 68,000 customers without power. That's in northwest New Jersey as well as central New Jersey. The bulk of that, Monmouth and Ocean counties, those coastal areas, hardest hit. They had the heaviest wind gusts. They also had the latest changeover from that wet, heavy snow to the dry and fluffy snow. So tree-related damage, wind-related damage, causing a lot of those outages.
You know, I was at the grocery store yesterday, and I was standing behind a guy who was getting ready to go out with some of the utility crews. He said, look, we go in place early. We like to be there before things sort of go down. What are we looking at in terms of how these crews are responding to these outages? It seems like it's happening pretty quick.
Yes, we have nearly 2,300 workers involved in the restoration efforts. That includes nearly 1,700 line workers. We also have substation electricians, foresters, hazard responders, support personnel. We have our full complement of JCP&L crews on all-hands event for us. We also have contractor crews and crews from our sister First Energy utilities from Ohio that have come in for this.
Okay, so I was just going to about ask that, because I know the governor of New York said that they're bringing in people from Buffalo who are very easily and adaptable, able to deal with these things. So you guys are bringing people from Ohio. Is there other places outside of central Jersey where people are coming in to help?
So our contractors regularly work throughout the Northeast. Our crews from Ohio are usually right up on the lakeshore area there, south of Lake Erie, so they're used to a lot of lake effect snow as well, so very well versed in these types of conditions.
You know, I'm just taking a look at the outage map. It looks like, for sure, I mean, across the state, you're seeing hundreds, if not thousands, of outages down around Monmouth, Ocean County. Things are pretty bad out there. Where is it the worst, and kind of what's causing it? Is it really these trees and limbs that are coming down because of the heavy snow?
Yes, it's definitely those coastal areas, Monmouth, Ocean County, even up along the bayshore there in northern Monmouth County. Those are by far our hardest hit areas. Most of the damage we've seen has been either tree or wind related. So we are, we've got a lot of forestry crews who are out there working to clear full trees, tree limbs, make sure that our line crews can get in.
Yeah, the snow looks pretty, but especially on the trees, it can become dangerous. Talk to the customers that are without power right now. When can they expect to get back on the grid?
So if you see a restoration time for your outage right now on our outage map, or if you've received a text message with it, that is accurate. In Monmouth and Ocean counties, we're assigning those as crews are arriving on scene to make repairs. If you don't have a time, you will have a time later today. We do expect this will be a multi-day effort in Monmouth and Ocean counties, but we will have times out for all of our customers by later today.
All right, Chris Honig with JCP&L. We thank you so much for the work and, of course, for all those utility crews who are out there getting us back on the grid. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you. Stay safe.
Meanwhile, our special weather coverage continues after the break. Stay with us.
All right, just about 11:45, Fox 5. You are watching our continuous coverage of this blizzard, taking a live look at the conditions in the Bronx. Our crew found a large tree down on a service road in the Kingsbridge section. Fortunately, doesn't look like it's blocking any traffic that needs to get by. No power lines there. And we spotted an MTA bus on the move along Fordham Road with the travel ban in effect. There isn't too much other traffic out there except for those essential vehicles.
And people in Stamford, Connecticut, digging out of this blizzard this morning. Some cars, as you see here, on the roads, but the plows were out and about, so some people even got their personal snow blowers out just to clear some of that snow. People we spoke with said that you do what you have to do just to get by.
No, we just got up and we looked outside and said, you know what, let's just go for a walk, see how it is out there.
Well, what are you supposed to do? You layer up, you make sure that you have enough amenities and supplies at home to get through the weather, and if you don't, then you got to come out like me and do what you got to do.
He is wearing all of the layers, that guy.
If we had some accessories like that gentleman, we might be okay.
I was going to say, but hey, it is still advised to stay in and not drive if you do not have to be. Meanwhile, we still got more special weather coverage ahead.
That's right, and Audrey is back with the very latest on the forecast. When is this finally going to let up? Well, we have some answers. We'll be right back. (11:48). I feel like it's been snowing for almost 24 hours now.
As soon as we went to bed and still when we woke up. Audrey, question for you, though, because I know overnight it's when we really started to see that snow just layered on. But that bomb cyclone status, was that hit overnight? And maybe you could explain what a bomb cyclone is.
Yes, that's when we have a temperature, or a pressure drop within a system of 24 millibars within 24 hours. And that did happen way early, late last night into early morning hours. So that did happen. Right now we're still dealing with blizzard conditions across parts of the area, and that's why the National Weather Service is continuing with the blizzard warning for the entire region until about 6 o'clock. It'll go longer, though, up towards New England. Winter weather advisory for the Poconos as well as over towards Sullivan County, as you're not seeing much in the way of blizzard conditions as like the rest of the area. We also have a coastal flood advisory continuing for the shoreline here. This is for the times of high tide where we could experience minor to moderate coastal flooding. Temperatures are definitely cold enough for snow across much of the region here. We're at 30 degrees in Central Park. The winds, I think they're getting a little bit more amplified over the last hour or so. Now we're seeing wind gusts up to 34 miles per hour in Monticello, 32 in Poughkeepsie, 45 in White Plains. Earlier today, early this morning, way early before the sunrise, we had wind gusts up to 60 to 70 miles per hour across Long Island, and we did record 84 miles per hour out at Montauk Point. Now, because of those strong blustery winds, the snow is being blown all over the place, reducing visibility, and that's been the major problem with travel conditions across the region. So we do have the travel ban in place. It is definitely appropriate because of the low visibility across the area, as well as the snow that's piled up on some of the roadways, too. Satellite and radar shows the darker shaded tones is where we're seeing the most intense snowfall. Earlier this morning, we had 3 inches per hour being reported across Suffolk County. Some spots, too, across New Jersey also saw that intensity. Right now, it's about 1 to 2 inches per hour, so it's still pretty significant, and thereby we're going to be adding to the totals that we've seen, and we've had anywhere from a foot of snow to over 2 feet across parts of the region here. We have some clearing off to the west. It's going to be slow to get here, but it should be by tonight, and things will be much quieter as we go into the dinner time hour. Tomorrow, it'll be cold with a high of only 31, so the snow won't really be melting, but we could get some melting starting on Wednesday as temperatures will be in the 40s through the rest of the week. Dan and Bianca?
Audrey, thank you very much.
Meanwhile, despite the blizzard conditions, there are people venturing outside to enjoy the elements.
Enjoy, we'll put that in quotation marks. Kids in New York City, though, they like it. They finally got to have a real snow day, no virtual learning. They're trying to get out and about, and that's where we find our Meredith Gorman. She is live in Central Park. Yeah. Where's the sled? What's going on?
I was going to say, where's her eyes? She's fully covered.
That's right.
You guys, I already knew Bianca was going to say something as soon as she saw me in these goggles. They are my ski goggles.
They're very fashionable.
They're stylish on the slopes,
Yes.
but I'm not quite sure I need them in Central Park right now. The snow is still coming down pretty heavy here, but I don't know. These might be a bit much. Anyways, though, as of 7 a.m. this morning, there was over 15 inches of snow in Central Park. It has been steadily snowing since then, so I think it's safe to add a couple of inches to that at this point. But there was kind of a slow start to people coming out to Central Park to enjoy the snow this morning. As you can see behind me, people are starting to come out, and if last snow day was any indication of how busy Central Park will be, I think it's going to get pretty packed into this afternoon. But New Yorkers are finally starting to bundle up and head outside to enjoy this snow. But by sunrise, Central Park was already blanketed in more than a foot of snow, which transformed the city's backyard into a winter postcard. Now, heavy flakes kept falling through the early morning, coating trees, benches, and pathways in thick white layers. This snow is deep. And for hours, I said, the park was nearly empty, and many people are still choosing to stay inside and wait out the heaviest bands of snow. Families out here with sleds. Couples are having romantic walks through the snow in the park. Dogs are loving this snow, and we're seeing the skis and snowboarders come out. Now, what began as a snowed-in start to the morning is quickly turning into a classic New York City snow day.
To try to catch a ride on my snowboard.
And you're out here early, is it to beat the crowds?
Absolutely, I want to get some fresh pow.
My mom says that, we're going to go here in the park, and I'm going to do this, and that's it.
May as well be in Vermont. This is beautiful.
Yes, it's lovely. It's still white and very, very pretty. So trying to make the most of the blizzard.
All right, and I actually have my friend John here, my new friend. He's enjoying this snow day. How's it been so far?
It's been really great.
I don't think I've really seen this much snow probably since I was like 5 or something.
Oh my gosh. Well, no pressure, but there's a bunch of people watching you on live TV right now. Can you show them how you send it on this sled?
Sure.
All right, let's go. See you, John. All right, lots of fun in the Central Park today.
Nice.
Bianca and Dan, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
We
Nice.
like
You
it.
gave a nice little push there.
The goggles are appropriate for the Central Park slopes.
Yes, for sure.
Just saying.
I think that's 72nd Street.
Thank
That's where
you.
a lot of the kids always end up
Very
doing
fun.
their thing. Meredith, thank you so much.
Meanwhile, we've got more of the blizzard straight ahead. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We do know the snow can be stressful, but it can also be fun and pretty.
We've been asking some viewers to send in photos. What's up?
That's right. It can be very beautiful, guys. Good afternoon to the both of you. Let's take a peek at some of our favorite photos from our viewers right here in the Tri-State. So first up, Chris in the East Village sending this photo. Looks like he won't be in the bike lane today. And also Cynthia sending this snap from Jersey with her pup Teddy taking in the quiet cold. And George in West Babylon on Long Island. He's not afraid of a little snow.
No,
Trekking
George.
outside.
Don't do it, George.
In shorts and Crocs. What is this man doing, George? Why'd you have to do that, George? All right, let's move to Rockland County as Rocky has been enjoying the snow in Pearl River. And also Michelle Olmo striking a pose in Sunset Park, saying that the winter storm can't slow the city's energy. Serene scenes, meanwhile, here from Scott in cozy Cranberry, New Jersey. And Sean's dog, as you'll see here in Howard Beach, enjoying the great outdoors. While Tom's pup in the BX in the Bronx says, let's just stay inside and watch Fox 5, Dad. And lastly, celebrities enjoying the snowfall in the city as well. Actress and Real Housewives alum Jennifer Tilly snapping this photo right here in the big city, guys.
Ryan, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Stay with us. Our coverage of this blizzard continues in the noon hour.
From Fox 5, this is the noon.
All right, you are watching Fox 5's continuing coverage of the Blizzard 2026. The Tri-State slammed by snow, and yeah, it's still coming down at this hour. We got this video just in. Sanitation crews here in the city working around the clock to clean up the 5 boroughs.
From Long Island to New Jersey, Westchester, and Connecticut, our crews are out there so you do not have to step outside the door. Just keep it glued here to Fox 5. Welcome to the noon. I'm Bianca Peters.
And I'm Dan Bones. We appreciate you joining us. Let's check in with Liv Johnson right away with what is happening outside. Liv, what are you seeing? All right, sounds like Liv's having a little bit of trouble with the mics. We know that obviously it looks like the storm will be tapering off in the next 2 hours or so.
Yeah, and again, we have team coverage out there in all the 5 boroughs. We're going to head over to Jessica Formosa, who's covering the snowfall where she is at currently. Jessica, give us an update on what you're dealing with there from East Meadow and the conditions behind you.
Bianca and Dan, well, I can tell you this, that right now things are a lot better than we last spoke an hour ago. It's still windy out here, but it has slowed down and it stopped snowing. So what you're seeing, if you're seeing those little flakes, that's the wind that's picking up the snow from the ground and from the trees, but it has stopped snowing. And Bianca, I have to tell you, that car that was stuck there before is gone. It took him some time. It was a small sedan, a BMW. He was rocking that car backwards and forwards and nothing. Jimmy and I went over there to help, to assist. We took the shovel out, we helped him, but at the end, the police department, an officer, East Meadow Police, Nassau County Police, excuse me, and a gentleman, the fire inspector from the East Meadow Fire Department came over to help him, and he finally got out. I have to say it was about after 40 minutes. Now let's talk about power outages, because we are dealing with a number of power outages in the thousands. Right now, last I checked, PSEG Long Island, we're talking about 14,784 customers without power throughout the islands. That's Nassau and Suffolk County. We know that here in East Meadow, there are some folks without power as well. The fire inspector and the first assistant chief were telling me that they stopped to speak to us, and they told me that there were some outages due to trees falling on the power lines. PSEG did send us a message saying that they do have crews on standby waiting as as soon as the hazard conditions are over. They have nearly 500 crews, including 300 mutual aid crews, spread across Long Island and prepared to head out as soon as it's safe. The problem is, they have to fly those buckets and climb the poles, and right now the conditions are still dangerous for them to do so. As for the roads, we're here on Hempstead Turnpike, and you're looking at video of us driving around East Meadow. We were on Hempstead Turnpike, Newbridge Road, Jerusalem Road. And you can see that the main roads like Hempstead Turnpike are clear. They've been doing a great job. We have seen a number of plows coming up and down Hempstead Turnpike. The problem is those secondary streets. That is where we have seen multiple vehicles get stuck in the snow. My advice is please stay off the road. I know that travel ban was extended until now, until noon, and we are seeing a lot more vehicles, as you see behind me here, driving. But please, if you don't have to go out, if you're not an essential worker, don't do it. There's no need for you to be out here. You're actually impeding with the crews that are trying to do their job. And we actually saw that a car here on this side road stuck, a minivan, and the plows had to go around him. It's really just chaotic for the crews to get work done. So if you don't need to be out here, if you're not an essential worker, don't do so. A lot of things are closed. McDonald's closed, Starbucks closed, Dunkin' Donuts, it's closed. We found 7-Eleven, one of the 7-Elevens here is open. That's the only thing really that is open at this time, but everything around us is closed. As I was saying, Bianca, things are looking a little bit better. I have to say, it stopped snowing. The wind still windy out here. It's picking up, but the crews are doing a phenomenal job here in East Meadow. As for the main roads, we're going to see up here they come. You're going to see them come as we are speaking. LIRR, well, we're going to see the car. Here we go. Here we go. You see? This is why you need to be off the road so they can do their job. And this is what we've been seeing since we've been out here the last 2 hours. We've seen a lot of plows coming by, especially the main roads, like I said. When it comes to the bus, nice, still suspended until about 2 o'clock. They'll reassess after 2 o'clock, but right now, no bus service. LIRR still suspended. My best advice, Bianca, is stay inside, turn us on, watch us, and don't come out here, even just to shovel. We did see a couple of residents, right, Jimmy, as we were driving with the plows, with the shovels. Take it easy. It could be very dangerous when you're shoveling. So don't try to do this all at once. You're not going to be able to do so. A funny and quick story, Bianca. I live next door to my parents, and I had to take my daughters next door so I can come to work. And even just to get out of my house, we have a gate that connects to our backyards. I couldn't open the gate. There was so much snow. I kept pushing the gate, but I couldn't open it on the other side just to get into my parents' backyard. So I have to walk around, okay, with my two kids. My little one, Olivia, my 2-year-old, is scared. She didn't want to walk. She's like, this is too much snow. So it took me a while just to get next door. And I was like, this is incredible. Yeah. So if you underestimated the storm, I'm here to tell you it's real. And there is a lot of snow out here, guys.
I was going to say, if Jessica from Moscow says it's hard just to get next door, you have to understand it's going to be hard for you to get a couple of blocks.
Yeah, for sure, Jessica. That's a crazy story. I mean, good news. It looks like you can see a little bit of blacktop behind you. So people staying off those roads, letting the crews do their work. So a little sliver. Oh, there you go. A little sliver of good news that we have there this morning.
I don't understand why these cars are out here. I really don't. I mean, that gentleman that got stuck, I get it. He's a nurse. He was heading home after 16 hours. But the other cars, I don't understand.
At least they cleared the snow off the top of the cars. It looked like they had done that. That's the important thing.
And it's still all those back roads that they haven't cleared yet, too. So, the whole thing, even though those main roads might be cleared, back roads probably not clear, and it's still unsafe out there.
They're not.
Yeah, Jessica, thank you so much for some good advice.
And that's where you will get stuck.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Jess, thanks so much. Meanwhile, Westchester County also experiencing blizzard conditions.
Yeah, serious problems for sure. The travel ban there just ended. Technically, it's advised that you do stay off those roads if you can. Let's check in with Duarte Geraldino. He's live in Yonkers with the very latest on the conditions there. Duarte, what are you seeing out there on the highways?
Hey, there are, for most of the morning, people weren't on those roads. But as soon as that travel ban lifted, more and more people are actually braving it. Behind me, you can see more cars like this one. Typically, these are not the lower cars, the smaller cars who are out here, but the ones with four-wheel drive who are braving it because these roads are still fairly treacherous. Again, they're doing a great job plowing these roads. But you have to be in the car. If you're on the sidewalk, this is how thick the snow is. This is a shovel that I've been using to just carve out a space for myself as I do these live reports, but it's challenging. And if you are walking anywhere, you have to get through that, because remember, the plows are not going to clear the sidewalks. In the distance, you can see that overpass. That's where the Metro North has been running, and it's running probably about once every hour. That, for much of the morning, was the only legal, safe way in and out of Westchester because of that travel ban in effect. So people had to sort of wait on the platform in this brutal wind and cold to catch a ride. Now, as we turn around, you see these trees? This is the major threat. There are still some people in Westchester who don't have power because of downed wires. They look beautiful, so pristine, but the weight of all that snow on those branches, that's what eventually becomes problematic and sort of will clip some of these electric wires. That hasn't happened here in Yonkers, but that's one of the fear that people are talking about. And as we turn a little bit further in the distance, you can see people who have their cars still covered in snow. Look how much snow. It's like each of those things has a flat top. You see how much snow is on each of those cars. Before those cars can be moved, that has to be taken off. Now, there are some people who are actually on the sidewalk trying to clear their own sidewalk. They're grateful for the plows, but also recognize that all those plows actually put more snow on their sidewalk, so it can become problematic. And this is one of the plows that we're talking about. These guys have been out so many hours trying to clear the streets, and they're doing a great job, but there's only so much you can do because it's still coming down, and it's still, for the most part, fairly difficult to maneuver on these roads. We're going to be out here in Yonkers, keeping you posted on conditions in Westchester, where more than a foot has fallen in most of the communities. And it's those side streets that are right now the most dangerous. For the most part, these main streets have been cleared. In Yonkers, Duarte Geraldino, Fox 5 News. Dan?
Wow. I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, should they extended that travel ban?
Yeah,
because the snow's been falling nonstop. So, 12, and I don't know how much has been cleared.
See if it's possible. Duarte, thank you very much, because you know what? Those crews still got a lot of work to do, so it's a good idea to stay off the roads if you can. We want to know a little bit more about when this storm may be wrapping up. Let's check in with Liv Johnson. Liv, what are you seeing out there on the radar?
Okay, well, thankfully I am seeing some less strong snow bands. We still have a thick one. Anytime you look on the satellite radar and you see dark blue, that's a stronger snow band. We do have one moving through New Jersey into New York City, and it'll move out east on Long Island. We still have a ways to go before we're not seeing active snowfall. But again, it is lightening up a little bit, because earlier, this is the past 6 hours, it was a dark blue. We had so many strong snow bands moving through the area. As we've gone through the morning and now into the afternoon, we're seeing that lighter blue color. That snow is starting to just lighten up a little bit, but again, still not in the clear, because this system is moving further north. As it moves north, we're still going to get the back end of this system. It is turning, so we'll still get snow throughout the afternoon. So here's what to expect for the rest of the day. We're looking at an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow during the day. Snow backs off by late afternoon hours. We're still going to see strong winds, though, throughout the day. That's why we have that blizzard warning until 6 p.m. And it's going to be a chilly one with wind chill values between 15 and 20 degrees. This snow, unfortunately, is going to be staying around for probably the next day or so, because we'd have temperatures below freezing. But I'll have more updates later in the show. Bianca and Dan.
All right, then, Liv, thanks so much.
Thank you, Liv. And more snow coverage coming up as we check the conditions in Suffolk County, where the travel ban has actually just been extended, as we were talking about.
Exactly. County Executive Ed Romaine is going to be joining us live by phone when we return. Stay with us. Well, up to 20 inches of snow has fallen in Suffolk County. This is with winds up to 50 miles an hour, even higher in other places. The travel ban has now been extended to 3:30 this afternoon.
All right, the travel ban extended there. Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine joins us now with the very latest. Thank you so much for being with us. As you were mentioning, I mean, we've seen these 50-mile-per-hour winds, but you said gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour in certain spots. What's going on out there?
That's 85 miles an hour, and that was reported to me from someone standing right at the Montauk Lighthouse earlier today. I don't know if the winds are still as strong there now as they were earlier, but I got to tell you, wind has complicated this heavy, wet snow, because it is making snow drifts and making it very difficult to clear the roads. County and state roads, which are your main roads out here, they will be passable. Certainly by this afternoon and definitely by tomorrow. town roads and village roads are the smaller side streets, residential streets. They are having more difficulty because there's more streets to clear. For example, in Brookhaven town alone, there's 3,900 lane miles of road. That's third in the state behind the state itself and New York City.
Okay, so Ed, let me ask you a question then. So because you're talking about all of this and how it's going to be even difficult just to get on some of these smaller roads to these main roads, this is why you extended the travel ban, correct?
Yes, we extended that, and I also had a request from Jim Reed, who is the police chief in Shelter Island. He asked for a travel ban for the remainder of the day. We're allowing the East End towns to impose their own travel ban. Ours will expire at 3:30, but the East End towns are free because they have had some really tough times. In fact, most of the outages in Suffolk County tend to be on the East End, the power outages. We have about 4,500 homes in East Hampton town without power. We have about 1,000, 1,200 homes in Southampton, about 1,000, 1,200 homes in Brookhaven. So, I mean, yeah, we have outages that we're dealing with. We have roads that you plow and you come back an hour later and it doesn't look like you plowed at all.
Yeah.
So, because of the wind. And we're dealing with that. We had to cancel all bus service today, as did the Long Island Railroad. Bus service will resume at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And as you look out there, I mean, obviously the travel ban is in effect, but you've also seen a lot of accidents, maybe overnight. I mean, these conditions very dangerous. What can you tell us about what's going on with some of the accidents in the area?
Sure. In Western Suffolk, the 5 western towns, with that, the Suffolk County Police, we don't handle the eastern towns. They have their own police departments. But in Western Suffolk, we had over 130 accidents since the storm has begun. That's why there's a travel ban. And I understand there's some essential workers, people who work in nursing homes or hospitals or other key installations that have to get to work. But please, if you don't have to, this is really, you don't want to become a statistic. You don't want to be jammed up on the road. We had people out, I was out earlier today, you couldn't tell where the road began and ended, and you know, the side, the shoulder or whatever began. And it was very difficult when I was out earlier today trying to go around things.
Hey, Ed, for people that are without power right now, just some advice, what they should be doing, especially in terms of contacting the power companies.
Well, for most of Suffolk County, I mean for all of Suffolk County, actually, is PSE&G, who acts as an agent for the Long Island Lighting Company, or LIPA. So contact PSE&G. You can just go on your website, get their information, and contact them and tell them you're out. We're calling in outages. The other thing you can do is call 311, and we'll take care of that for you. And we'll redirect. But they're not putting bucket crews up because of the wind. So this is going to be, so if you're out of power for a while, again, call 311, because I spoke with PSE&G. They're not putting bucket crews up with the wind. It's too unsafe to do that.
It's frustrating for the people out there, especially when you want to get the power back on the grid as quickly as possible. Suffolk County Executive Ed Romaine, thanks so much for calling us in. Stay safe out there.
Thank you. Stay safe. And I appreciate all that you do to let the public know.
Thank you very much, Ed. It is just about 12:20 here on this Monday. We've been watching this blizzard all night, all morning long. More snow coverage ahead. Stay with us.
All right, welcome back. We do want to check in on the conditions now in Queens. There were reports this morning of thousands of people without power in the Rockaways.
Also, a lot of wind going on out there and concerns about coastal flooding. Michelle Ross live in Rockaway Park. Michelle, I know it was extremely windy for you out there about an hour ago or so. What are you seeing right now?
Dan, it's the same here. We tried to move a little bit to get some shelter from the wind, but it's hard to escape it. And the guest that you guys had on just before us was talking about Montauk. They call Montauk the end, and they call Rockaway here the other end. He was talking about snowdrifts. We've got snowdrifts here today. It's incredibly windy. Wind is what contributes also to coastal flooding. The coastal flooding, we want to keep an eye out on the bay side, on Jamaica Bay. We're currently on the ocean side. High tide is about to start, so we'll keep an eye out. I'll go up on the boardwalk in a bit once we're done here. I also want to show you the snow mounds. They've been plowing out here, which is great, but because it's coming down so quickly, it's really not making much of a difference. It really has to be plowed constantly. But these snow mounds here, you'll remember just 3 weeks ago, these were out here all over the city. Well, they're back again. So hopefully they won't be staying out here for as long as they did last time. But the wind is incredibly strong, incredibly dangerous. I just did see an apartment complex here. There was a woman trying to pull in, and she got stuck. And it was caused a bit of a traffic jam behind her. And what one car did was go into the oncoming traffic lane to go around all the traffic. You don't want to do that. It's so incredibly dangerous on these streets here. As far as transportation, the A train here, the shuttle is what connects to the A train here. That is not working. It's out of service. The MTA often shuts it down because it's an outdoor line because of the snow that comes down and the weather. That's the latest that we have here out in the Rockaways in Rockaway Park. Back to you guys.
Yeah, whiteout conditions there behind you, Michelle. Thanks so much for chatting in with us. Well, next at noon, this blizzard is wreaking havoc on businesses.
All right, we're going to let you know what's open, what's closed, and we're going to have a lot more when we come right back. Stay with us. All right, Bianca, I guess the good news is we know the kids at least are out there enjoying this snow day.
I was going to say, that is a silver lining. But the storm is actually forcing a whole lot of other closures as well. Antoine Lewis is here to break all of this down. Hopefully people got their frozen pizzas ahead of time because the ordering out at this point
is a little challenging. Yeah. We'll get into that. Good afternoon, everybody. The first thing I want to remind everyone is that if you don't have to go outside, then stay home. If that's not the case, here's what you need to know as far as what's open and what's closed. So let's talk about closures. New York City Public Schools, as Bianca and Dan were just mentioning, is of course closed. City Public Libraries also closed. New York City criminal courts will open at 2 this afternoon. If you have court business, you may want to keep that, depending upon what that business is. New York State courts are closed in all 5 boroughs and the surrounding suburbs. As far as banks, some are open for in-person services, but it of course depends on the institution and the location. Now, the post office is open. It's not clear if postal workers, however, will be able to make it to your mailbox with all the snow that's covering streets and sidewalks. Food ordering apps like DoorDash suspended services last night, but we checked this morning, and if your favorite restaurant is open, the delivery service will of course work with them, but you can expect longer wait times. Grocery stores, most are likely open. That of course depends on the individual store. Retailers, same with them. Most should be following regular hours. You may want to check their website to see if there's a posted message, however, about any special store hours given the consideration. The other thing also that we want to talk about is that a number of sidewalks and streets, if you're going to be out and about trying to reach a business, trying to reach a grocery store, post office, whatever that is that may be open, you have to be careful because of the magnitude of the snow that's still waiting to be moved, removed, shoveled, or whatever that may be. And while the public school kids are having an old-fashioned snow day, students, parents, and school staff are still wondering, of course, about tomorrow. We know that the mayor has a news conference coming up within the hour. We anticipate an announcement on schools then or at some point throughout the day. But for now, that's the latest. We'll send things, Bianca and Dan, back over to you.
All right, Antoine, thank you very much. They might have that virtual school back tomorrow.
I was going to say. And kids and parents just love that one.
Yeah, we'll see how lucky they get.
All right, more snow coverage coming up. Stay with us.
All right, just about 12:30 here. You're following Fox 5's continuous coverage of this blizzard. A live look up 6th Avenue. You can see some blacktop, just a couple scrapes. That's the good news. Those crews working really hard overnight, but a lot of problems out there. We got live coverage from Long Island up to Westchester County, out to New Jersey.
And look at the people still out there walking, making their way to work. I'm sure from more of the essential workers that have to get to work, including all of us. And I was going to ask Liv as we bring her in to talk more about the weather. You're now commuting by bus, or was it the lovely boyfriend that got to drive you to work in his big old truck?
Oh,
hello.
No, he was home. I was on the crosstown. You better believe it.
And how was that moving?
You know, it was late, of course. There were delays. I was waiting out there a lot longer than I anticipated, but it got there and it dropped me off. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Shout out to the MTA.
Yeah, I was surprised with how much the roads had been cleared already. And yeah, it looks like the city is doing a pretty good job. So, and it won't stay around as long as the last storm that we had, okay? That's the good news. We do have temperatures above freezing this week, so it should melt faster than last time. All right, so we had Michelle Ross out there talking about the winds, so I want to touch on that because we do have that coastal flood advisory until this evening. And these are our peak wind gusts, 84 miles per hour for Montauk Point, 64 for Kew Garden Hills. We have 45 for White Plains, 43 for Central Park, and we're still getting consistently strong winds, about 15 to 30 miles per hour consistently through the tri-state area, but we're gusting stronger than that. So right now, White Plains is at 44, New York City is at 37. We are getting a break in some parts of New Jersey, but as I said at the top of the show, we're still going to see these strong wind gusts stick around later than the snow. So even when the snow wraps up and we're maybe just seeing a flurry here and there, we're still going to have some strong wind gusts. I mean, you can see even into tomorrow, it's really tomorrow evening that we start to see a little bit of a break, but it does get a little better by tomorrow. All right, so we're still having some visibility issues. There is some good news because we have seen some improvement. 1 mile is not good, but it's better than earlier this morning. We have 8 in Sussex, 9 in Monticello. So we still have 0 in New York City, 1 out on Long Island. So again, we're just not in the clear yet, but we start to see that snow break apart by late afternoon. Temperatures are kind of right at freezing, some below, some above. But because we get into those evening hours, we kind of quickly drop below freezing. Our overnight hours are going to be in the teens. If you do have to wake up and head back out to work tomorrow, temperatures will be in the teens. Most of the day is going to be below freezing. So we don't see much relief temperature-wise or really any help with the melting for tomorrow. I know you're seeing more blue behind you and you're probably getting a little scared. Yes, we're expecting a little bit of some more snow and a wintry mix, mainly turning into rain Wednesday morning early. But don't worry, it's not going to be a whole lot, an inch maximum. But until then, for the rest of the afternoon, we are expecting about 4 to 8 more inches of snowfall. Dan and Bianca.
Wow. All right, we're going to prepare for that one. Liv, thanks so much. And as the blizzard brings the city to a halt, the Department of Sanitation has thousands of trucks clearing roadways and over 1,000 emergency snow shovelers in action.
All right, joining us now with the very latest is DSNY Acting Commissioner Javier Lohan. Thank you so much for being with us. How do things look out there this morning, Javier?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. I think that they're looking pretty good. I mean, we're still seeing a lot of snowfall, and you know, some of the winds are still pretty persistent there, so it's making the visibility a little tough for our operators. But we're going to continue on until the job's done. But I think we've done a really good job so far.
So when we talk about clearing out these major roadways, what about some of these side streets that are, you know, kind of some of the last to get cleared out?
Yeah, so I think some of those streets where we've been in them starting last night, going into this morning. I think what we're seeing in some of these narrow streets are, you know, the winds are kicking up and they're creating some of these drifts, and we have to go in there and use specialized equipment. But we're identifying a lot of these areas, and we're putting specialized equipment in there. You know, these front-end loaders, you know, the skid steers that people know them as bobcats. So we're putting a lot of extra pieces in some of these areas just to make sure we can clear them out.
Javier, was this a particularly challenging storm? I mean, I know yesterday when things started, the weather had been warmer, so not a lot was sticking. And I feel like overnight, that's when it was maybe at its worst, when it's very difficult for some of those crews to get around. What were some of the challenges you found with dealing with this storm?
Yeah, it's exactly that. You know, in the morning going into the afternoon, it was pretty mild, so we didn't see any impacts of the roadways. At 6 p.m., it just like a flip of a switch, and then we started seeing everything intensify. Luckily for us, it was the beginning of our night tour, so we had everybody fresh and ready to go. We initiated full plowing, spreading operations. But then, you know, after midnight, 1 a.m., those winds started really kicking up pretty tough, and it was tough for our operators to see. So they had to take it a little slower. Thankfully, there was a travel ban in effect, so that helped us, helped us navigate through the roads and get through some of these routes a lot quicker.
Hey, Javier, as we're watching this this truck go by, and you could see it piling up the snow on the sides, it's clearing the roadways. It leaves those big snow piles for people to try to climb over some of the crosswalks to get to a bus stop or just to cross the street. Have you kind of solved any issues with that? Because that was an issue for the last snowstorm we had.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we identified and we made improvements on. So we called in emergency snow shovelers a lot earlier, and we actually started a night shift with them, which we've never really done. Normally we would bring them in on the dayline, and now we brought them in at night. So yesterday at 8 p.m., we had a few hundred snow shovelers come in. They came in and braved the weather, and they were clearing some of those crosswalks and bus. I mean, a lot of it's got to get readdressed again because we got a lot of snow, but we did that, and then we called in some of our private contractors that support, with mechanized equipment, and we brought that in last night as well. So we are prepared for that, and we're going to try to take a different approach to those kinds of issues we saw from the last storm.
Well, we certainly appreciate chatting with us. You guys got a lot of work ahead, so we'll let you go.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Javier Lohan with the Department of Sanitation. We thank you so much.
Meanwhile, Long Island has been hit hard by this blizzard with 2 feet of snow in some of these areas.
Thousands of customers are also without power. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso joins us live from East Meadow. Jessica, what can you tell us about the power outages and how it looks out there on the roads?
Dan and Bianca, well, I have some good news. Looks like those numbers are going down since we last spoke. Right now, I can report, according to PSEG Long Island, its website, it says 12,911 customers throughout Long Island without power. Now, we are being told by officials there that the reason that their crews are not up in the poles, in the buckets, it's because it's dangerous, the wind, right? So they can't get the crews up on top of those buckets onto the poles to restore power. So until it's less dangerous for them to do so, those numbers will remain in the thousands for now. That said, though, some things to report here. As you can see, we are on Hempstead Turnpike. We see blacktop. They really have been doing a nice job on the main roads, keeping them clear. The travel ban has been lifted, so you're seeing a lot more cars now than before. But my advice, look, the main road may be clear, but the problem, guys, is really those secondary roads. We have seen a number of vehicles, not one, not two, but a lot of them being stuck, not be able to, they're rocking back and forth and bringing out shovels because they cannot continue to their destination. So really, you may see the blacktop here live on television, like Hempstead Turnpike, but be careful if you're going to go down those side roads. Now, I have to report that East Meadow School District schools will be closed tomorrow. Another traditional snow day tomorrow. We already got that phone call from the superintendent. Suffolk County has extended their travel ban until 3:30 later on today. We heard from the county executive who was on earlier today that, he really wants the crews out there cleaning the roads, and that is why there are banning vehicles. LIRR service still suspended at this hour. Last I checked, they are not going to restore service until later today. And nice buses, same thing, until 2 p.m. We're being told at 2 p.m. that is when they're going to reassess. But again, out here, as you can see, it has stopped snowing. Things are looking a lot better, but it is still dangerous. So, for my advice, guys, stay inside, tune us in, and get the latest reports from us. Don't come out if you don't need to.
Jessica, thank you very much. We do want to note that about 39 minutes ago, New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani did lift the travel ban, still urging people, as you heard Jessica say, same thing out on Long Island. Stay inside if you have to.
A lot of snow out there still.
But there you go. Well, more snow coverage. We're watching this blizzard and everything that you need to know when we come back on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Westchester County also experiencing blizzard conditions. The National Weather Service reporting wind speeds of up to 40 miles per hour in White Plains today.
Let's head out to Duarte Geraldino. He's live in Yonkers with an update. Ooh, looks like things have gotten a little worse out there, Duarte.
Oh, yeah, Dad. I mean, you can feel the wind hitting me much harder. I mean, the good news is that the roads are a little bit more clear, but again, as you're driving, you feel the force of that wind hitting you. You see 1 or 2 cars at this point that are on these highways. Officially, they're open. You can drive on here legally at this point, but people are proceeding very cautiously for a couple of reasons. You have to actually get to your car, and on the sidewalks, even if the main streets are clear, this is what you're dealing with. Look at how much snow. I was managing to shovel some areas so that I could stand and deliver this live report, but unless you're walking around with a shovel, it's going to be very difficult for you to get to the actual sidewalk. And as you turn around, you can actually see some of the plow. Well, there's one guy who just passed us by. He was actually plowing some of the streets. Hey, if you're out here in a car, you want to have 4-wheel drive. That's going to be the main message that a lot of the folks that we've spoken to keep on echoing to us. As you turn around, you can see those plow trucks. Those are the guys who've been out here for so many hours trying to keep these streets as clear as possible. One of the major challenges that they're facing is as soon as it's taken off the street, the wind and the snow keep on putting another layer. If you look at the trees as well, I mean, I know there's a lot of plows who are taking up a lot of our vision space, but the trees are, at this point, getting to that level where they're going to be encrusted. That's causing one of the major risk factors for power outages. Here in Westchester, you still have about 500 or so customers who don't have power. Now, obviously, the electric companies are working very hard to get that power back on, but it can be scary for people who are dealing with this weather, dealing with this cold, without any power. Once again, in the Yonkers area of Westchester County, traffic is moving, but people are walking outside very carefully. In Yonkers, Duarte Geraldino, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, things look worse as opposed to better out there where Duarte is. Thank you very much. We will be tracking everything. More snow coverage coming up. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us as we are continuing to cover the blizzard of 2026. A lot of people didn't expect this much snow to happen. It's just a couple of days ago, but here we are. We have team coverage in all the 5 boroughs. We're going to turn things over to Liv Johnson now, who's been tracking all of this. Was it just a couple of days ago that we were saying we weren't sure?
We weren't sure, but then kind of things turned definitely like Saturday, Sunday for sure, Liv.
Right. We knew it was a strong system, but it looked like it was going to be further out into the Atlantic. Started moving closer and closer by Friday afternoon, and here we are. So we do have a strong snow band right now going through New York City. It's going to move out east onto Long Island, so prepare for that if you are out east into Nassau and then Suffolk County. But as we looked at earlier on our Futurecast, we do start to see the snow break apart. It gets a little lighter, and it also becomes more sparse by late afternoon hours. Still not totally in the clear, but by about dinner time and definitely this evening, we won't see any more active snowfall. We'll just have to worry about strong wind gusts persisting through the afternoon and evening into tomorrow. Now, yes, Wednesday morning, very early, we have another quick little system moving through. Looks like about an inch or 2 maximum, mainly turning into rain. So don't want you to be too concerned about that. But we have a little bit more action for us this week. So by today, we're expecting about 2 to 5 more inches, depending on where you are, up to 6. And what's interesting is that when you look at our snowfall totals right now, we're already at more than 15. And when you look at our top 5 snowstorms in New York City since 1869, we could crack the top 5 because in 2010, we got a little over 20. So watching if we hit that today. Dan and Bianca.
Totals are pretty
look at
impressive.
those numbers, especially out in, I think she said like 27 inches out in one of the areas.
Yep.
Oh, boy. All right, we've got more of the noon straight ahead. We're tracking this storm. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We do know this blizzard might be stressful for you and even dangerous, but it can also be beautiful.
That's right. All morning long, we've been asking you to send us your best pictures and videos. Ryan Christopher is here. Ryan, the snow is, it's white for now. City, eventually it's going to turn a different color.
Right, but let's not talk about that. Right. Let's focus on the positive here.
Okay.
And sometimes you might find cute photos out there. You might find crazy people, like the first gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to. These are some viewer photos and videos that were sent in the snow through the tri-state area. So let's start with this guy. This is Rubesen. He sent in this photo this morning, writing, "Beautiful day for a jog. Can't be putting any days of my trip to waste." So,
oh my goodness.
good luck,
Yes.
I guess. Enjoy that run. I think, maybe. Okay, let us know how you did there, pal. Also, Chris in the East Village sending us this photo. It looks like he won't be riding in the bike lane today.
Chris.
Also, Cynthia sending this snap from Jersey
Very
with her pup,
cute.
Teddy, taking in that quiet cold. And George in West Babylon on Long Island.
No.
Don't we just love
George,
this guy?
this is the
Don't do
best.
it. Don't
He's got
do it.
shorts, Crocs, a T-shirt.
This is the
man
viral
do
video
not
today.
care.
Post that to our website right away.
Look at him go.
Hey, what does he say?
He's going to go back for
Isn't
more.
that beautiful? You do it again?
Is he done?
Oh, he's going back inside for some cocoa. Okay, it's okay. You did a great job. Also, in Rockland County, Rocky has been enjoying the snow in Pearl River, and so is Michelle Olmo, striking a pose in Sunset Park, saying a winter storm can't slow the city's energy. You got it, girl. And also serene scenes here from
That's
Scott.
nice.
Cozy,
That's nice.
Cranberry, New Jersey. Also, Sean's dog in Howard Beach enjoying the great outdoors. While Tom's pup in the Bronx says, let's just Netflix and chill. Let's just hang out and watch.
Yeah.
Fox 5. Let's watch Dad. Oh, and speaking of Fox 5 dads, Dan Bowen's pup Sadie making a path in the backyard, having some fun. Dan, did you even shovel that? Also, Melanie and Queen shared a photo of her cute little pup, Fanny, in East Elmhurst. And in Ridgewood, Tino, the tough guy, he never met a snowflake he didn't like. Look at him right there.
Cute sweater, Timo.
Very sweet. It's giving. All right, and lastly, celebs enjoying the snowfall here in the city, including actress and Real Housewives alum Jennifer Tilly, snapping this photo with some serious accumulation there on the fire escape.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So many beautiful photos here along the city. It just gives us a moment to slow down a little bit, taking the beauty of nature here.
I will say the silver lining of it was walking to work, and I was like, this is so quiet.
It is quiet,
right?
yeah.
So
beautiful.
Quiet.
Yeah. I was going to try to Uber to work until I saw this guy trekking 14 blocks.
You said you can't let Dan take all the thunder.
Right up Lexington. There's no cars.
Right.
Could walk right in the middle, get some nice videos.
I thought you were going to climb Mount Everest. I was like, I guess I'm walking to work too.
Honestly, he's doing that after work.
Mount Everest, that's what it's going to be when you get to the snow piles in the corners.
Right, that's for later tonight, apparently.
Later tonight. Ryan, thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, well, more snow coverage coming up. Stay with us. All right, despite the blizzard conditions, there are people venturing outside to enjoy the elements.
Kids in New York City finally got a real snow day, and a lot of them are taking advantage of it. Meredith Gorman, Central Park. Are you like near 72nd Street? I know that's one of the snowy areas, right? What's going on?
Yeah, that's right where we are. We're at Pilgrim Hill, that area of Central Park right now. Listen, I've lost the ski goggles. I put on the sunglasses, but it's still pretty much blizzard conditions here in Central Park. Around 7 a.m. this morning was the first time or most recent time that the snowfall right here was measured, and that was about 15.1 inches. It's been steadily snowing for the last couple of hours since then. I would say probably more like 19 inches of snow here. You can look at, it kind of comes up to like my knees here, which doesn't tell you much, but I'm about 5'6". So, yeah, but listen, a lot of people are slowly starting to come out of their homes and come here to Central Park to enjoy all of the great things that the snow has to offer. Listen, by sunrise, Central Park was already blanketed in more than a foot of snow, which transformed the city's backyard into a winter postcard. Heavy flakes kept falling through the early morning, coating trees, benches, and pathways into thick white layers. And for hours, the park was nearly empty as many people chose to stay inside and wait out the heaviest bands of snow. But by mid-morning and now early afternoon, things are starting to change. Families pulling sleds up small hills, couples having romantic walks through the snow-covered paths, dogs absolutely loving the snow, and we're actually seeing some skiers and snowboarders come out and ski in this powder too. And so what started as a slow, snowed-in start is quickly turning into a classic New York City snow day.
I think we might do more sledding in the afternoon, but for the rest of the morning, we might just stay inside. Yeah, we're going to stay inside for the rest of the day, and then I think some friends are coming over for dinner.
To try to catch a ride on my snowboard.
And you're out here early, is it to beat the crowds?
Absolutely, I want to get some fresh pow.
What's the best part of sledding in your opinion?
Like when you go down and you crash into snow.
May as well be in Vermont. This is beautiful.
Yes, it's lovely. It's still white and very, very pretty. So trying to make the most of the blizzard.
You just heard us. We talked about the crowds, but here at Central Park, at the Pilgrim Hill area, the crowds actually aren't too bad. So we'll see if people come out more this afternoon to enjoy this snow. I'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much. That was our show.
We'll be right back.